Hi guys, welcome back to your Not So Ordinary Scrapbook channel. Happy National Scrapbook Day. I thought I'd get on today because it is National Scrapbook Day, and I figured that I should record a video. Besides, I wanted to do some scrapbooking today because of the holiday, the scrapbooking holiday. So, I haven't gotten any further on my, sorry, I'm looking for a mat here real quick. Okay. So I haven't been able to, get on here all week because I'm seeing clients now every single day, so it's taking up all of my time. So, but it's Saturday, and so I thought that I could get on and do a little more on my December daily. Hopefully, if you are partaking in the National Scrapbook festivities, you're getting emails that are informing you of all the great sales going on right now. I can't find my hole punch, so this large eyelet setter is going to have to be my hole punch for today. I'm not sure. I have two of them, and I don't know where they are. But I spent too much time looking for it, and I'm like, I'm not looking any further. I'll just use this. So since I have the tool, I might as well use it. Okay, so two of the places that I ordered from. Now I don't like, as you know, I don't normally buy scrapbook supplies during the year. I don't subscribe to any kit clubs or anything anymore. I used to be a loyal subscriber to Ellie Studio and Felicity Jane. I don't do the cut file subscriptions. The companies that have switched over to cut files and digital, I don't use. And it's only because my printer I mainly use for work, so I don't want to spend the money replacing the color cartridge all the time because I'm printing out digital files. I would rather just pay a little bit more and have them shipped to me. But I did, yesterday I got an email from Ellie Studio that they were starting their sale a day early, and they had a mystery grab bag of scrapbooking supplies on their website. And so I got on there, and then I found some, so I purchased the grab bag, and then I'm just gonna corner around this one. I kind of like how that looks. And what was I saying? Oh, and then they had some like puffy letter stickers and such, really cheap on their during their National Scrapbook Day sale. So whenever I can find letter stickers that are really cheap, letter or tile stickers, the Market Street tiles, I will pick them up. Just because those are things that you rarely ever find, like at a secondhand store. Very rarely do you find letter stickers, and that's something that I use on nearly every layout. So when I can find them really cheap, I pick those up. So that's what I got at Ellie Studio. And then last night I noticed that I got an email from Hip Kit Club, and I used to subscribe to Hip Kit Club for a while. I probably haven't subscribed to them for 3 or 4 years. Their sale started this morning. So the advertisement I got was yesterday, but it started this morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So this morning, my grandkids spent the night last night, and so I slept in the living room with them. And they are usually really early risers, but this morning they slept till 9. And I was busy, when they woke up. Oh, I just messed that one up. This is why I have these. This is just one of those pencil grippers that I cut several years ago, just because you get a better grip on this thing if you have this on. And I didn't switch it over just now because it was on this side, the skinny side. And if you see, I messed up because it slipped out of my hand. So there we go. So they had a grab bag. When I finally got on, it was probably about 11 o'clock when I thought about it and decided to get on their website to check out the sale. And now I have all my border punches over here. They're all Martha Stewart. I've had them for years. I don't know if they're for sale anymore, unless you can find them like on eBay or something like that. But generally speaking, they're not. I don't know if you can find them at Michael's or anything like that, or not. I haven't seen them in years, and I've had these for probably going on 10 years, I would say. And really, I don't use them that often, but I use them for my December daily a lot, especially when I'm creating my own pages. Just because, I made a mistake. I hope this works. There's no guarantee. Oh, it did. Okay, good. If you line it up, generally it does work, but you just never know. I use these for my December daily because it gives interest to the pages. Just have to be careful to line it up properly, and then it turns out this is a heart one. The one I used before was a this polka dot scallop. This one, which is this punch. So I got on the Hip Kit Club website, and unfortunately their grab bag was sold out. So, I mean, that must have sold out really fast. So I, but they did have a bunch, and they still probably have these. If you want to get on, I think it's going on all day today. They have between 20% off and 70% off. And so I didn't find anything on the 70% off. I started there, but I got on the 60% off, and their kits, like their full on main kits, are selling for $13.95, which these are $37 kits. So I bought 5 of them. I'm pretty sure I bought 5 of them. And that was a fantastic deal, because there's letter stickers in there. You know, the full-on kit with the 12 by 12 paper, embellishments. Yeah, that was an excellent deal. So, and then if you wanted to go to the 50% off, I did look on there, but I didn't buy anything on there. Those kits are selling for $17.95. So that's also a really good deal. The ones that I purchased were from 2023 and 2024. The ones that are $17.95 are some of the later 2024 and 2025. So that I don't think I'm going to use a border punch on this one. I think I'm just going to round the corner. Really good deal. Really, really good deal. So that is what I bought for National Scrapbook Day. Those were 2 companies that I used to subscribe to, and that's probably why I still get the emails to them. I didn't notice if Peachy Cheap was running them, but they're usually cheap all the time. So they may not be running a special. And the same thing for Scrapbooks for Less. I get emails from them too, but I didn't notice any from them as well. Because their stuff is usually cheap all the time too. So those are 2 places that I do order from. Not very often, but occasionally when they have their like Scrapbooks for Less, I usually take part in their $1 a sticker sheet. They'll have the 12 by 12 cardstock sticker sheets for $1 every once in a while, and I'll partake in that, especially if they have letter stickers on them, which a lot of them do. And Peachy Cheap every once in a while will have a grab bag, and I will usually purchase the grab bag. However, I will tell you that the last time that I got a grab bag from Peachy Cheap, I was disappointed. That is something that Scott usually buys me for my stocking stuffers every year, is he'll buy me a Peachy Cheap grab bag. And so I'll tell him when I get the email for the grab bag, and he'll buy it, or I'll buy it, you know. It's the same account, so it doesn't matter. And I'll tell him, okay. Or he'll ask me, like, he's been doing this for several years. So, like, he'll ask me, did I get the email from Peachy Cheap for the grab bag? Well, 2 Christmases ago, not this, because usually they run it on Black Friday. 2 Christmases ago, he got it for me. it would be Christmas 2023. And usually there's a ton of stuff, and I usually have my stocking is usually loaded with scrapbook stuff. And in 2023, it was lame. I'm going to be honest with you. It came in an envelope where they used to send them in a box, and like the box would be like packed full of scrapbooking stuff, because you pay like, gosh, that box is like $30 to $40. I mean, it's not a cheap box, and you're supposed to be getting like $200 worth of stuff. And in 2023, if I got $200 worth of stuff, I would be totally surprised, because I don't think that I got hardly anything. Because I looked at my stocking and I'm like, not to sound greedy, but is this all there was? And he goes, yeah, that's all there was. It came in an envelope. And I'm like, you're kidding me. They usually send it in a box. And he's like, no, that's how it came. And I'm like, well, next year I don't want one. If they're gonna start being chintzy like that, I don't want one. And because it's not worth it. It's not worth, if we're gonna pay $40 for a grab bag and all I get is a little envelope of a few things. I mean, granted, I did get like 10 things, I think, but before I was getting like, gosh, upwards of 30, 40 items. And I mean, they were nice items. Like in 2023, I got a few nice items, but like a lot of it was repeats of what I'd gotten before. And like I said, I'm not complaining. Like it is what it is, you know. But they have more, their grab bag is more expensive than, you know, well, Ellie's Studio grab bag was $15, I want to say, for National Scrapbook Day. And then the one for Hip Kit Club was $17, but it, like I said, it was sold out. So so if I got an envelope, you know, of stuff from there, that makes sense because it was only $17. But I always, like, when Scott gets me that for Christmas, it's usually, that's all I get in my stocking, besides maybe a little bit of candy, because there's usually, my stocking is usually like packed full. And yeah, I was disappointed the last time, and I was like, I don't want another one from there. So, and I know that probably sounds like greedy, like, oh, you know, you only want it when there's a lot of stuff, but when you're paying like 30, 40 bucks for something, you know, you want to, I could buy a kit from somewhere for 40 bucks and I would know what I was getting, you know. It just, I don't know, not to sound negative or anything, but yeah. So, but I do like Peachy Cheap. Every once in a while they'll have like one time I think I bought a bunch of like, they'll sell like large quantities of things, which is kind of nice. Like if I'm looking for a specific thing, and it's always random, so you never know what they're going to advertise every night. But sometimes they'll have like 6 Tim Holtz Distress Ink set, or they'll have an Ellie Edwards like collection, like a full collection. And they do have other collections too that are, I mean, they're a lot of Echo Park, you know, but Echo Park is one of the cheaper ones to purchase, like full price anyway. So I don't know if you'd be saving that much. I don't know. I still buy from them, like if I see something that I'm looking for, but I just don't buy a lot of stuff anymore. Do I want to do the train on this one? Sometimes I think these punches take away from the pattern paper, but we'll see. I'm going to do this one this time. I don't think I've used this one yet. So the kids went home, and I messed up that one, but I can cover it up. It doesn't always line up perfectly, I'll be honest with you. It's always a gamble. Jordan and Hunter picked them up. So it was a good night. I mean, like I said, they both slept well. They got to open their Easter stuff. Esme was with them when they dropped the boys off last night, but she had to go home. So she still got to open her Easter, but I think things are okay with me and Jordan. Hunter, of course, you know, he's fine. You know, I'm not worried about him, but my daughter-in-law, she's fine. But then sometimes, like, I feel like there's, like, still, like, a slight distance between us, which I don't like. It bothers me, but there's nothing I can do about that. And this, you know, like, I'm just glad that I'm seeing the grandkids again, because I wasn't sure. She was really mad at me, and like I said, I'm still, like, I'm not sorry about my convictions, you know, regarding the situation, but I'm sorry that I reacted. You know, I was reactive to the situation. She was reactive too. I mean, we both were. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm not the parent, so, you know, I have to let them make their own mistakes. If they make a mistake in child raising, you know, that's their decision. That they, you know, that's how you learn, is by making mistakes as a parent. I mean, my poor first child, my oldest son, man, I always call him the guinea pig, because, you know, all the things that I didn't know, you know, I tried out on him, and it didn't always, like, I have more regrets with Matt than I have with any of the other kids, because I feel like I learned, you know, by the time the younger guys came along, like, I learned. And so, so I kind of, and Hunter and Ethan were so close together that in a lot of ways I parented them together, and the exact same way. So it worked out quite well. And of course, you know, you can't be a perfect parent. No one can, but I was a much better parent to them than I was to Matt. Because Matt, I was very much a helicopter mom, like, all through school. Like, gosh, when he was a little kid, because he was 9 when I had Hunter, or almost 9. He was 8, but he was almost 9. And he was 8 when I got pregnant with Hunter. And for those first 8 years, that poor kid, you know, I had all these misconceptions about what a child, how a child was supposed to behave, you know, like you're going to eat everything that is on the table or you're not going to eat type of thing, you know. And like I learned, you know, after I had more kids that it's just not feasible sometimes, you know. There are some things that I'm not going to make my kid gag, you know, to eat something, whereas Matt, I probably would have, you know. It's just, but one thing, Matt recently sent me a message and said, I just want to thank you for, you know, the kind of parent that you were. And, you know, and that, even though I was like, when I sent a message back to him, I was like, I have the most regrets raising you, because I just think that I was so hard on you, and I shouldn't have been so hard on you. And my parents say that now about raising me too, because I was the oldest child, and so like they were really hard on me, like harder than I was on Matt. Like, I had so many responsibilities at such a young age. You wouldn't believe it. Like, nowadays, it'd probably be illegal. I was babysitting my sister and brother when I was 10. And my brother was born when I was 9. So, my brother was 1. So, Mom and Dad would go out, and me, a 10-year-old, was watching a 1-year-old and a 7-year-old by myself at night until Mom and Dad came home around midnight. You know, and they thought that that was perfectly fine. You know, nowadays, man, that's not cool. You know, you don't do that. But back then, there were probably kids babysitting younger than 10. I started babysitting other people's kids when I was 12. Like, I was babysitting for 3 different neighbors when I was 12. And that just seems insane to me. Like, I know one child was a newborn I was babysitting at 12. I had no clue how to take care of a newborn at 12. But and I can remember being like 5 years old and Mom and Carla dropping me and Kim off at the movie theater to go to a Disney movie by ourselves with no adults at 5. That just blows my mind. I would never. I mean, it's a different time. When I was 5, it was the 1970s. So, like, you know. I mean, I'm not saying that bad things can't happen just because it's the 70s, because they definitely can. And I had some bad things happen to me. But, I don't think that it happened as much as it is now. Most of the time, I think most people watched out for other people's kids, and, you know, at least you didn't hear about it the way you hear about it now. If it was occurring and, you know, people were just naive to it, I don't know. But I had really young parents, too. My mom is only 17 years older than me, so she was like a child raising a child. So when I was gosh, when I was 5, she would have been, let's see, 23. That's like Hunter's age. I mean, Hunter's raising 4 kids at 23. But, you know, he's got Jordan's help, and Jordan is 30, so she has a little bit more experience, but... And Hunter's always been mature, you know, and maybe that's what my parents used to tell me that too, that I was very mature for my age, but I feel like I was forced to be mature. A lot of the time, I don't remember, like, I remember being able to be a kid, but, like, we were not allowed to, like, fuss or whine or anything in our house. Like, that was a big no-no. Like, if I fussed about anything or whined, it was quit whining, quit fussing, you know. Or, like, if I got hurt, like, if I was riding my bike, fell off my bike, and landed on the driveway, skid my knee all up, and I was crying, my dad would say, oh, it's not that bad, get up. You know, you'll be fine, just brush it off, or whatever. And I personally think that I would have just, like, if it would have been nice to have somebody, like, come up to me and, like, say, oh, you know, like, give me a hug or something and say, it's gonna be okay, you're fine, you know, we'll get something for that. I mean, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, that's what I needed, that's not what I got, but I don't know. I mean, my mom and dad are both baby boomers, so they grew up in an era where, like, my dad remembers, I can remember my dad saying that, like, his dad would make him cut his own switch to, like, spank his butt. And, because I probably got the most spankings of anyone in my family. I was getting spankings for everything. Like, even if the other kids did something wrong, you should have been watching them, you know? It was me who got in trouble instead of them. It was always me. And I was actually a really good kid. I mean, I never snuck out of the house. I never tried to run away. I never, you know, snuck cigarettes or, you know, or anything like that, or, you know, drank or smoked weed. I mean, my sister Jenny was like, I love my sister Jenny, but as a teenager, she was kind of wild. I mean, and I never told on her. I could have told on her so many times. She was working at the grocery store when she was 16 years old, and I would find, like, packs of cigarettes, like, that she had opened with 1 or 2 missing, like, almost every brand imaginable. And she would hide them. She would hide them in different places in her bedroom. Or she would, like, and, like, being a nosy older sister, I would, like, sneak in her bedroom and, like, see what she was hiding. Because she would put them in places where, like, I mean, places I would look for sure. But I could have told on her so many times. I could, like, Mom and Dad would have just busted her butt. But I never did. I just kept it quiet. And I even told her that once. One time she was mad at me because, I don't know, she knew I was in her stuff or something. And she's like, because I think I moved them. I think it did have to do with cigarettes. I found alcohol too in her room. And And one time I found cigarettes in her room and I moved them all. Like I found all of her hiding spots. I took all the cigarettes out and I made a pile of them and I put them on her desk. And she was like, I think she thought that Mom and Dad found them, but she came up to me and she's like, were you in my room? And I was like, why? And she's like, you know why. And I'm like, what? You know, I was acting all innocent. And she goes, just tell me if you were in my room. And I'm like, yeah, why? And she's like, you have no right to go in my room and nose around and stuff like that. And I'm like, you should be lucky that I never told Mom and Dad about all your packs of cigarettes that you're hiding in your bedroom. And she's like, well, thank you for that, but I'm like, whatever. I just would nose around in there because I was curious. You know, I was curious what I would find, because once you find something like cigarettes or alcohol in your little sister's room and you know they're not of age. I mean, mind you, at this time I was probably 18. Well, I would have been 18 because I'm 3 years older than her. 18 or 19. So I was either a senior in high school or a freshman in college. And you know, if you have siblings, I don't know if you ever nosed around in your sibling's bedroom or not, but I did. Once you find something, it's like, I wonder what else she's got hiding, you know? But so I'm going to do, I think this one I'm going to do corner rounding. The ones that are really busy, I think I'm just going to corner round. So I don't know how I got on that tangent. I have no idea. But, and I haven't been punching holes either. See, that's what happens. I get distracted. And then I don't do my job. So I am thoroughly confused with my student loan. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I graduated with my master's degree in October. And then they give you like a 2-month like grace period before you have to like start paying your loan back. So in December, I was like, well, I found out that I was going to start this. I was going to become a developmental therapist, but I wasn't going to get paid for the first 3 months because I wouldn't be seeing clients for the first 90 days. I would be in training because there's extensive training that you have to go through to become a developmental therapist, even if you have, you know, a degree. And it's ongoing training. Like, I will have training for as long as I'm a developmental therapist. There's always new things that you just have in order to keep your credential. It's kind of like your credential is like equivalent to a license. So, or, well, I shouldn't say it's equivalent to a license because I don't know, to be honest, but it sounds like it is because your credential has to be current in order to, and it has to be active and not expired in order to practice. So in order to get my credential, or my temporary credential is what I have right now, I had to go through 90 days of training, which I wouldn't be paid for. And so I called in December and I said, is there any way that I can get a deferment, because I'm not going to be, I am training for my position, but I'm not making any money doing it yet. And so I was approved for the deferment, and my first payment is supposed to be due June 2nd. And so I did get documentation through the mail that said my first payment would be due June 2nd. So I was okay with that. And so it's May now, right? So I had to create an account online in order to be able to make my payments online. And so I decided to set that up. And when I set that up and logged into my account, because I had a previous account with them, because I have gone to school before, and had paid my student loan. So I logged into, I opened a new account because, of course, back then there was no computers when I went to school. I mean, there was computers, but no internet. And but it had me in there. I had an account because I had a previous account. So under my social security number. So I created an account, and then, everything that from my past account and all my new stuff was on there. The only thing is that online it said amount due 0, which nothing is due until June 2nd. So that sounds legit. Well, then it said that I didn't have anything due until 2030. And I'm like, that's not right. Why would I not have to pay anything until 2030? So I call the number, and you're on hold for hours with that place. It's ridiculous how long that you have to hold to talk to anybody. And so I go in the automated system because I didn't want to hold for a long period of time, and typed in all my information, and it said your first payment is due in 2030. I'm like, okay, that's not right. There's something wrong here. I don't. So I tried to stay I tried to stay on hold with them. And I had my account pulled up on the computer or on my laptop. And I was going to talk to somebody about it. Well, then a client had called me back because I had left a message with the client about setting up their child's session. And she called me back. So I put the call that I was on hold so I could take the call with my client. And somehow when I was talking to her, I got disconnected. And I had already been holding for an hour at least. Or almost almost an hour. If not an hour, almost an hour. And I'm like, when I got off the phone, I'm like, I am not calling them back. Because they have no option. A lot of places, they'll have an option. Press this number and for a call back, and we'll call you back. Most places have that. Well, not the student loan place. They don't have it. So you actually have to sit on hold for that entire time, which is baloney. Especially if you're working, like you can't, sometimes it's like 3 hours. I've called and it's like your hold time is 3 hours and 45 minutes. And I'm like, are you kidding me? No one holds that long. I mean, it shouldn't be that. Hire more people if you can't get people to, if you have that many people calling you at one time. But so anyway, I didn't think anything of it. Well, then today, this morning, Scott brought in the mail and he's like, oh, you got something in the mail. I look and it was from ECMC, which I had never heard of before. And it said that my account was 60 days past due. My student loan account was 60 days past due, and I was at risk for default, that I should call this number. So I call the number, and I'm like, what the heck? I don't even have a payment due until June. How in the heck? And I still hadn't talked to anybody about the 2030 thing. And I'm like, there is no way that I am 60 days behind. There's absolutely no way. And so I call the number and it's automated. And it says, you have 4 loans that are past due. Please contact your student loan provider to discuss your options. And I'm like, what in the actual heck? So I look at the time. Student loan place is closed, of course, because it was like 12:30 our time, and it's Eastern time there, and they're only open till noon. So I get online again, trying to search through my student loan stuff, you know, through my student loan provider's website. And I'm like, it still says I owe 0. And Scott's like, are you sure it's not a scam? And I'm like, I have no idea. But why would they refer me back to my student loan provider? If it was a scam, they would want me to pay them. You know, they wouldn't refer me back to my student loan provider. So I was completely lost. And so then I went on to file a complaint on their website, because I was like, first I tried to contact them. So I clicked on contact them and they're like, have you logged on to your account? Have you tried calling? Have you done this? And I was like, yes. And I clicked yes. And then it led me to this other page where what is the problem, that you type it out. So I type it out and I clicked on send and it would not send it. Like, no matter what I did, it would not send it. I was like, oh my gosh, what is the deal here? How come it's not sending? So then this little guy pops up, this guy named Aaron or whatever. He's like, I am your automatic help desk or whatever. Post your are you having a problem? I can help you, blah, blah, blah. Well, it was AI. I didn't realize it was AI at first until every question or every comment that I made, like telling them, it would say, list your problem and I can help you. So I would tell them what was going on, and they would just, like, this generic thing would pop up. Just like AI, like, contact this and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I'm like, you're AI, you're not a real person. And it wouldn't answer me. Like, I'm trying to help you. If you would type in your problem, I can help direct you. And so I typed in my problem again in a different way, and like the same exact answer. And I'm like, okay, this is an AI system. This is not a real person. I'm not talking to a real person. And so that was a little bit frustrating. So then I was like, I'm going to file a complaint because this is ridiculous that I have to go through all this. And I've spent so much time trying to figure out when my payment is actually due. And I definitely should not be behind on a payment because I was approved for deferment. I have mail documentation stating that I was approved. So there's no way that I can be 60 days behind. And, you know, I was just like, I was mad. So I typed up a complaint, a formal complaint, and I sent that through. And they said, so I get this email back and that went through. And I typed out everything like, how am I supposed to pay my bill if first of all, I don't know how much my payment is going to be. I don't know when my due date is now because you've got conflicting information on every single platform. So I don't know which one is right, which one's wrong. It's just very confusing. And I have to wait on hold for a ridiculous amount of time when I don't have time to sit around for 3 hours and wait to talk to someone on the phone. I don't think anybody has time to sit for 2 to 3 hours. I think that's a ridiculous amount of time. And so I typed up the complaint and I got an email back that says, we received your complaint and, you know, we are looking into it and we will contact you within 15 days. And I'm like, I am not waiting 15 days to hear from these people. So Monday, I am going to have to, I have a client on Monday and actually I have a meeting with that client. So like I can't reschedule. Like the service coordinator is calling her while I'm there because we need to discuss her child and the next steps, like for her therapy. And so I have to be there. And but when I get home, I'm just gonna have to take the time to call it. Like I'm gonna have to call them and just sit there for 3 hours and so I can talk to somebody. But like a lot of the time you just get these automated people or people who don't know. Like when I've called before, I swear I am talking to people in their own home. Like, because I have heard dogs barking, I have heard children crying, you know, so they're working from home and all they do is like pass the buck. So they can't answer your question 9 times out of 10. And then they're like, oh, you need to call this number. So then you call that number and you're back at the drawing board again, waiting for 2 to 3 hours. And it's like, it's no wonder that people do not pay their student loan bill. I'm just saying, it's like if you have a question, how the heck are you supposed to reach anybody? No one has time to sit on the phone an entire day on hold waiting to talk to someone to figure it out. It's just not a user-friendly system. So that was my drama for today. You know, because my life is always some drama or other. It just happens that way. You know, it's the little things. I am not a person who like really serious things that happen. I am calm in the storm. Like if there is something really serious, like I am fairly calm. But everyday annoyances, they get me. Like, I do not do well with, like, I want my computer to work. I don't want my printer to jam up. You know, I don't want my computer to glitch. It's always something. If I'm going to pay a bill, I want to be able to pay that bill and have it be easy to pay. Go online, type it in, have it done. Because, like, that's how I roll. I want things to be done efficiently. And when it does not happen that way, these minor frustrations really stress me out. So it's not like the big things in life that stress me out, when it probably should be the big things in life that stress me out. It's these little frustrations. But with me, it's never like just one little frustration. It's like a bunch of frustrations all at once. And that gets overwhelming, because it's not like, okay, so this ordeal with my student loan, and then I go to print out a kid's file that I'm supposed to, like, this new kid I'm supposed to be starting seeing on next week, and my printer jams, and, like, because it's eating all the paper out of it, so then I gotta fix that, and then, it's something else. It's just like, good grief. It's just like one thing. I told Scott that. I'm like, if I could be hit with like one thing at a time, that would be one thing. But I'm never hit with just one thing at a time. It's like they come in multiples. So then by the end of the day, I'm totally stressed out. It's no wonder I have heart failure. My doctor told me once that the reason why I have it, well, he said that it's multifaceted. He said there's multiple reasons why you have it, but he said there are several ways that you can control it, and like, you can't control the fact that it's genetic. I just come from a family that has really bad hearts, and I've had a family member die from a heart defect. We have heart anomalies in my family, and they're all birth defects. My mom has one. Her sister died of one. My mom was born with an extra heart valve in her heart, and for years they couldn't tell her what was wrong, but she was having all these heart problems when she was younger, and they couldn't tell her. And finally, when she was in her late 30s, early 40s, she was having severe problems, and they sent her to a specialist who told her that she had an extra heart valve, and that needed to be removed, because what it was doing is it was causing her to have tachycardia. It just was messing everything up in her heart. And then my mom's sister had I forget what it's called, but basically a hole in her heart. She was born with a hole in her heart, and there are other defects as well as a hole in her heart, and she died when she was 12, I believe, because it just couldn't be fixed. And back then, nowadays she'd probably still be alive, because they have a lot. Medicine has come a long way since the 50s. I think she died in the late 50s. So, And then me, I have a myocardial bridge, which you're born with. And they didn't find that in me until I was 40. They found that, and then I was on beta blockers for a long time, and it wasn't monitored. They just renewed my prescription. So, like, I had a cardiologist, but I think during a 10-year period, I was just renewing the prescription, and I had only seen my cardiologist twice during that time. So I don't know if that has anything to do with my heart failure, or if, you know, because I've done research on it, like trying to figure out, because I was diagnosed rather young, and I know there are other people that have been diagnosed young with it as well and have it much worse than I do. But I forgot. I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, I completely lost whatever I was talking about. Oh well. So I mean, I did everything that in my power to, like, try to fix my heart failure, like working out, eating right. I want to say I lost 6. It's either 80 or 60 pounds, because like 20 of it was water weight. Like, I started taking a Lasix, and like within 3 days I had lost 20 pounds. So I don't know if that was just like extra fluid or what it is. So like most of the time I don't count it. And then I lost 60 pounds after that. And then I kept it off all during like COVID and everything. But then like from not like ever since I started working, well, last May, if I look back, I was exercising quite extensively up until mid 2023. Yeah, mid 2023. And then I was visiting my son in Arizona, and I fell off of his step and outside, and I fell on my hip onto the pavement, and I really messed up my leg. And I should have went to the doctor to get it checked out, and I thought, well, I'll do it when I get home. And then I started a new job right after that, so I didn't get it checked out, and then it progressively got worse. And then working aggravated it, and then I ended up quitting that job because it just was, I was in so much pain all the time. And I should have let them know, like, that I was experiencing all this, like, while I was working. I'm the type of person who just, like, grins and bears it and just, like, doesn't tell anybody that I'm in pain or whatever. But one morning I woke up and I couldn't move. Like, I literally could not move. And I had to wake Scott up, and I was like, you're going to have to walk me to the bathroom because I have got to go to the bathroom. And my leg is spasming. Like, he could just see my leg just shaking. Like, it just, my whole entire right side was just spasming. And so he was like, you know, do you want me to take you in? And I'm like, yes, I need to be seen. I don't know what's going on. so he drove me to Springfield, and they did x-rays, and I think they did a CT scan. And I mean, my leg was black and blue still. Like, they could tell that, like, I had hurt it, because when I got back from Arizona, well, right after it happened, my entire thigh on that leg was black. And so it was still gray. Like, it had been healing, but over that month, but, or 2 months. I guess it was 2 months when I quit. And, I'd worked there for 2 months. And, they could tell that I still had an injury there. And they couldn't see anything on the CT scan, but that they said that sometimes the CT scan doesn't catch everything. Like, I would need an MRI to be certain, but my insurance wouldn't pay for it until I went through physical therapy. And so I went through a series of physical therapy where I had to start out in the pool and did like pool therapy for 3 months. And then I went on the floor and I did floor therapy. And I was starting to get better. Like, I was able to go back to working out. And so I did that. And then I started working out with my friend Angie I joined a gym with her, and we were working out almost every night. So I was still going to rehab, and I was working out at rehab, and then I was also working out at the gym. And that I worked out there until I started working at the Y last year, the end of last May. And then I quit going to rehab, and I really have not exercised regularly since. I was active because I was active with the kids at the Y. I mean, there's a lot of walking involved, and, you know, we play sports and a lot of outdoor activities and swimming, you know, that kind of stuff. Bowling. We did bowling. So, I mean, I moved around a lot. And then this fall, then I took a break for 3 months to finish school. So I finished school, didn't exercise at all during that time, aside from going to the trail and like every once in a while I'd be like, oh, I wonder if I can still walk 3 miles, you know, and I'd do a 5K around the trail, and I'd be like, oh, good, I can still do it. You know, I should do this more often, and then not do it. You know, I just wouldn't keep up with it. And then, and I just never went back to rehab, wasn't exercising regularly or whatever. So during that time, I gained like 20 pounds and from not exercising. And so that was frustrating. But okay, I'm gonna start putting things in. So I'm gonna start here. Actually, this one says Merry Christmas, so I'm going to save that one for the 25th. I gotta look through these pages to see what's going to go first. Probably the tree one, I'm guessing. Just because we're going to be, you know, the tree is kind of the first thing. So we're going to put that one here. So I need to get walking again. I mean, I have time to go back to rehab. Like, if I wanted to, I could schedule my clients so I could go. But I really don't want to go. I would rather just like walk the trail, you know, every once in a while. I have weights. I have a walking pad. I just don't want to bother those people anymore. I think that I like extended my welcome there, and so I just think that it's better if I don't go back there. So I think that I'll probably just walk the trail. I think that that's better, and then lift weights at home. Angie's working out in Bloomington now because the gym that we were working out at closed. It went out of business. And they kind of joined forces with the Y, but then like I was fired from the Y. So, you know, a month ago, and so it's like I don't exactly want to go back there, you know, to work out, you know, and see that nasty woman that I didn't like working with, you know, because she's kind of in charge of that. She's in charge of like all that stuff, and so like I really don't want to deal with her because I don't like her. I don't think she's a nice person. And I think I'm gonna have to do more than, here's this one. We'll do one here, and then we'll do a couple more here. I want to make sure that I have like ones in between that kind of go with it, like especially if there's a, okay, I have all these pages that I need to get in here. Okay, so like this looks good together, oh, like as an overhang. So this, what color? Oh, this would look cool. No, I need one that's like a round, a corner rounded one. There's this one, this one, this one. All the rest I kind of punched, aside from this one. Okay, so which one would look the best between here? I'll do this one. Okay. But I need to work out some more because I know that, like, I know that I would not have gotten so sick when I had influenza A, had I been working out like I used to be. Generally, people don't get so sick that they get hospitalized. If they're like, I went all through COVID and I had COVID and I didn't even, it was like a bad cold for me. It wasn't like anything, you know, and it was after my diagnosis. So it's not like I, oh, this would go good there. I know that it had to do with me being in better shape than I am now. And I like almost died, like, as you know. A couple months ago. So like, I know that I need to work out more. I just don't know exactly what to do about it. I either have to just buck up and do it at home, or I need to go back to rehab, and I really don't want to. And it's sad because I really love the people there. I really did. But it's just part of life, I guess. Do I like that? Or do I want this? No, I think I like that one. So, you know, such is life. Eventually I'll get it all worked out, you know, but since that time though, like when I got sick in the hospital, I lost 20 pounds. So I got back down to what I was prior to gaining any weight. And then I started taking semaglutide. I was given a prescription for it, and insurance didn't want to cover it. And then I was able to get it a different way. So I've been taking that, and I have lost 10 more pounds. But it's slow. Like, I don't know if my body just does not like it, or I don't know. I got really sick at first when I first started taking it. Like, I thought that I was just going to have to quit taking it because it was so bad. It was really, really bad. But oh, this is trees too. I guess I should put this one here too. Now I do have some pencil marks on these that I'm gonna have to erase because do I want it to go this way or this way? I actually like this way, I think. And then I'm going to put this one on the back. And then that's all the pages. And then we'll go through my cards too. Yeah, that'll work. I think I'm going to do this. No, it has to go this way because it's flowers. Okay, so that's that. Now, I did want to do one of these too, didn't I? I wanted to make this a page. So I'm going to cut this off. I'll figure out where to stick it. So I don't know, but I'm so busy now and I'm getting more kids like every single week. Like, I have a feeling that there's so many kids and there is such a shortage of developmental therapists that I could be seeing 20 kids a week. And we get paid pretty well. I mean, I'm pretty happy with what my paychecks are. Like, it is way more than what I have ever made in my life. In fact, I'm surprised that more teachers don't do it because you get to set your own hours, you schedule appointments, and you make a heck of a lot more than teachers make doing it. But there is a lot of training. I mean, there are, like, when I signed on to do it, I was in training with this woman who taught school. She was a teacher in Sherman. And she was going to do this instead of teaching. And for some reason, they told her that she would need 100 hours of intervention and assessment combined in order to do this. Now, I had to have 30 assessment 115 intervention. Right now, I'm standing at 21 because I've taken a few courses already to fulfill that. Like during your period while you have your temporary credential, you continue taking courses to fulfill like whatever you need, for your full credential. And so right now I need 9 more. I need 9 more intervention, and I need 21 more assessment. But I found enough classes to fulfill that. By the time my temporary credential expires, I just got to take them. Most of them are self-paced. And then but I have to do that before my temporary credential expires. But yeah, they told her that she needed 100 combined, so that would be 50 a piece of assessment, and she has a teaching license. So it's like, well, that's odd, but I don't know if she doesn't have a master's degree. If she just has a bachelor's, that would make sense. But they're like, our state is really being sticklers with like who can do what, because like I said, my intention was to work at a school, and like I can't even sub, which doesn't make any sense at all because they're short on subs, and I applied to sub, and for some reason, well, like I said, the university that I went to didn't have the accreditation. Like, it had one of the accreditations, but Illinois now has 3. And like only certain online schools have the 3 that are necessary or required in Illinois. But like, we're the only state outside of New York City, from what I was told. New York City is the only other one besides Illinois that requires that you attend a school with this credential. Now, I don't know if people like prior were grandfathered in, or I don't know what the story is. But all I know is I think it's kind of crappy that I wasn't told ahead of time. And the only reason why we're like with New York City is because our governor is, he is in line with New York City on a lot of things. So that would probably be the reason why. But I'm grateful that I found this job, that this is actually more in line with what I am capable of doing. I hadn't really thought it through very much. I like that. I think that's cool. I like how that like shines through too. I think that I do best when I work one-on-one with kids, more so than like working. Are these the ones I was going to use? I don't know. Or were these down here? Whoa! They're falling all over the place. Oh. Because of my age, Like, I found working at the Y, and especially after I had been sick and in the hospital, like, working with a lot of kids really wears me out. And probably partially due to the fact that I haven't been exercising, but also partially due to the fact that I'm older. I'm older, and when you're older, it's harder to keep up with. Younger with a bunch of kids is what I'm saying. So if I put this in here, I could put a mat in here. That's really cute. Do I want this one though first? These are really cute. I think I want this one here because there's trees, and then I'll put it like a mat behind it. And then this one, I'm gonna do, these are too big for that. Do I have any other big ones over there? This one. No, that's a fish one. Some of these are Project Life. Remember, I could probably use that. This one I cut. That's fall. These are fall. Yeah, those are fall. That would work. That would not work. But I found that I really enjoy working with kids one-on-one. I was kind of leaning that way when I ended school anyways. I was like, you know, I'd really like to be like a special teacher that works with kids one-on-one. Oh, that's cute. Finally sweater weather. And there's a little heart on it. I must have like stuck that heart on and then I don't know, but I don't know if it'll still stick anymore. If it's straight, that's cute. Yeah, I don't know. They're all summer. There's a gray. I don't know if I have more or not. Let's see. Ooh. But I really enjoy what I'm doing. I'm still learning, of course, you know. But so far, so good. I mean, I can really see myself doing this long term because I think that this is something that I can do when I'm older. I thought I would be able to work at the Y and do this long term, and even when I think about it now, it's like that was just a ridiculous thought that I would do that. There's Matt and Yessie's wedding. So pretty. don't know if that'll work or not, but okay. Well, that's just gonna have to be it, I guess, as far as that goes. I have a couple over here that might work. I might be able to like cut something off. Oh, I forgot to do the envelopes. I was gonna do the envelopes, wasn't I? And add those in too. I guess I can do that too. I don't even know how long this video is. I better check. An hour and 30 minutes. Maybe I should end this one here. Now that I think about it. Maybe I can start back up tomorrow. I think this video is long enough. I didn't realize that I had been talking this long. So I'll get these all in the pockets after I get off camera. Get these envelopes in off camera. Get these cards in the slots off camera. And then tomorrow I'll come back and we'll do some scrapbooking. Since the whole weekend is actually National Scrapbook Weekend. Well, today is National Scrapbook Day, but it's the weekend too. So I'll want to do some scrapbooking tomorrow too. But thank you all for watching. Thanks for listening to my rambling. I know I kind of keep it real around here. Some people don't like that. Some people don't like, you know, listening to people ramble on about, you know, things going on in their life and drama and stuff. And that's okay. If you're not that type of person and you don't want to listen to all that, then, you know, maybe I'm not your cup of tea. But this is just how I do it. I mean, I don't know any other way to film other than to just be me. And I think that just is how each of us, you know, is. We're all individuals. We're unique. And, you know, just be you. So, but those of you who do like listening to me ramble on about God only knows, because you just never know what I'm going to talk about. Thanks. I appreciate it. And I will see you next time. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll make time to scrapbook tomorrow. So until tomorrow, bye.